Audrey Hepburn was a Hollywood darling and fashion icon who won an Oscar for Best Actress for her very first feature-length film, 1953's Roman Holiday. From there, she went from strength to strength, with her iconic role as Holly Golightly in Breakfast at Tiffany's defining fashion and femininity for decades. Redefining the image of the Hollywood starlet with her innocence, Audrey was also an accomplished humanitarian, becoming a UNICEF ambassador. It was on one of her trips to bring aid to children in Somalia that Audrey began to feel a pain in her stomach. She knew the end was coming, but it didn't put a dent in her light-hearted charm. Desperate to spend the end of her life with friends and family at her orchard in Switzerland, Audrey raced against time and fought the odds to get home. Keep watching to find out how Audrey Hepburn gracefully approached the great beyond, as her two sons give a glimpse into her final days. Childhood and beginnings in Hollywood. Born in Belgium in 1929 to a Dutch baroness and British trader, Audrey Hepburn had a privileged early upbringing, traveling frequently with her family due to her father's work. But in 1935, Audrey's father left abruptly, an event she described as the most traumatic of her life. She was sent to a boarding school in England until 1939, when Britain declared war on Germany, and then she was sent to the Netherlands, as her mother hoped the Dutch would stay neutral during the war. While at boarding school, young Audrey had taken up ballet, which she continued in the Netherlands, quickly demonstrating her innate talent and becoming a star pupil. Her mother's dreams were dashed when the Germans invaded and occupied the Netherlands in 1940. Audrey's cushy childhood lifestyle came crumbling down, but she wasn't deterred, performing dances to raise money for the Dutch resistance. Towards the end of the war, there was a famine in the Netherlands where Audrey and her family were so hungry they were forced to eat tulip bulbs to survive. During this period, Audrey developed a host of health conditions due to malnutrition, including acute anemia and lung issues. After the war, Audrey and her family moved to Amsterdam, where she carried on with ballet under the tutelage of famed instructor Sonia Gaskell. In 1948, she got her first taste of the spotlight in an educational travel film, Dutch in 7 Lessons, before winning a scholarship to study ballet in London. She supported herself by working as a model part-time. Despite her talent, Audrey was told she'd never make it as a professional dancer due to the health conditions she developed during the war. It was at this point she decided to focus on acting. She received critical praise for her on-stage performance in the Broadway play Gigi. She garnered enough attention to be cast as the leading actress in Paramount's Roman Holiday in 1953. After seeing her screen test, director Willy Wyler was so impressed, he cast Audrey Hepburn over the producer's first choice, Elizabeth Taylor. Roman Holiday went on to be a box office success, with Audrey winning an Oscar for Best Actress, a Golden Globe, and a BAFTA. A star was born. Career highlights. Audrey continued to grace the silver screen while maintaining a stage career. Her performances included a 1954 Broadway production of Ondine, in which she played a water nymph who falls in love with a human. Audrey did, in fact, fall in love with her co-star, Mel Ferrer, and the two married later that year in Switzerland. In 1960, Audrey gave birth to their son, Sean Ferrer. Audrey's star continued to rise, and in 1961, she appeared as the iconic Holly Golightly in Breakfast at Tiffany's, for which she was nominated for another Oscar. She continued a steady stream of well-received performances until 1967's Wait Until Dark, which was filmed while she was in the middle of divorcing Ferrer, who was one of the film's producers. Even though she lost 15 pounds from the stress, she received her 5th and final Oscar nomination for Best Actress. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already, and stick around for more about Audrey's final days. Turning away from the spotlight. After 1967, Audrey Hepburn stepped away from the spotlight to devote herself to her family. Even though her marriage to Sean's father, Mel, ended in divorce, she soon remarried, tying the knot with Italian psychiatrist Andrea Dotti, whom she met on a Mediterranean cruise in 1968. In 1970, the couple welcomed Audrey's second son into the world, Luca Dotti. While Andrea and Audrey divorced in 1982, the actress, mother, and humanitarian found lasting love with Dutch actor Robert Wolders, with whom she spent a peaceful series of years living mostly in Switzerland. Audrey spent most of her time on her family and humanitarian efforts, becoming a Goodwill Ambassador of UNICEF in 1989. Motivated by her own experience during German occupation of the Netherlands, Audrey was grateful to be able to give back. She recalled how she received international aid during her time of need and wanted to do the same for others who needed it. She traveled the world on humanitarian missions on behalf of UNICEF, including visits to Ethiopia, Turkey, Vietnam, and Bangladesh. Wherever she went, she never hesitated to hug and comfort the children. Audrey made only a few more appearances on the big screen, including as an angel in Spielberg's 1989 film Always, in which she helped guide a pilot to the afterlife after his untimely demise. Audrey's final days. In 1992, while on a humanitarian trip to Somalia, Audrey Hepburn started to have intense stomach pains. On her return, she was diagnosed with cancer of the appendix. Given only 3 months to live by her doctor, Audrey admitted she was afraid of the pain but not of death. Back in Los Angeles, she underwent surgery to remove the tumor, but it was too late. Walters and Sean asked doctors not to tell Audrey the extent of her illness, but journalists bribed one of the hospital staff and published a detailed report of her condition. Instead of focusing on herself, Audrey spent the remainder of her time and energy on those she cared about. She kept her son's hope alive by sharing her dreams and plans for the future. She said her only regret was that she wouldn't be able to continue helping others on behalf of UNICEF. The Last Christmas. Christmas was Audrey's favorite holiday, and she was desperate to spend what would be her final Christmas at La Paisible, her home in rural Switzerland, surrounded by friends and family. But due to her fragile nature, it would be a difficult journey. If she were to take a commercial flight from Los Angeles, there was a good chance she wouldn't make it. Fashion designer Hubert Givenchy and another friend, Bunny Mellon, organized a private jet filled with flowers for Audrey and longtime lover Robert Walters to return to Switzerland. The pilots descended extremely slowly and carefully to make sure the pressure didn't drop too quickly. Once Audrey finally arrived, she and her family were able to share a final Christmas together. Audrey was in good spirits, asking Walters to buy 3 winter coats, which she gifted to Walters, Givenchy, and Sean, respectively. "Think of me when you wear them," she told the 3 most important men in her life. She spent Christmas giving gifts to her loved ones to remember her by. The funeral took place a few days later and was attended by friends and family, including her 2 ex-husbands. Gregory Peck, her co-star from Roman Holiday, recited Unending Love, one of Audrey's favorite poems. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite Audrey Hepburn movie? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.